Yeah, hey guys, welcome back. Today we are coming from the workshop. Last week I was talking about pentatonic navigation and just a simple concept that can help join everything together so it just doesn't look like 5 individual patterns along the neck. So just like last week, you should, if you're sort of watching this, you should kind of know these patterns already. And it's just another concept that really helps. So today I'm covering a real simple concept, and it's almost so simple I think it's overlooked by so many people, including myself. So this is not something I ever practiced until recently. I did add a little twist to it though, just to help with visualizing, or sort of getting a 2-for-1 deal when you're visualizing the neck. Basically it's just doing pentatonics one string at a time. So if we start like we did last week in G minor, and you just think of the pattern on one string. So we'll just start on that 3rd fret on the fat string. So you've got pattern 1, the first bit of pattern 1, then you've got pattern 2, pattern 3, pattern 4, pattern 5, and then back to pattern 1 again. So if you can visualize those along one string as you go, just take the time, because it's, when you first do it, it's kind of weird. You're used to looking at them vertically, but the idea is to see them horizontally, and what actually it does is it helps you see your neighboring patterns. So, and the same on the next string, just go down to the next string and you've got the same thing. You can just go along and just do them however you want to do it. You can even do it with one finger if you wanted to. The little twist that I like to, that really helps cement it all together, instead of just purely looking at it as patterns, is to obviously keep an eye on your root notes. That's the big thing, like we talked about last week. But I like to think of the notes as their interval. So intervallic functions, and this is one of the 4, I suppose, pillars of fretboard navigation that I talked about. And you've got, so you've got scale, shapes and patterns. You've got the knowing where all the notes are, and I think that's probably the most fundamental one. Then you've got arpeggio shapes and triad shapes, and then intervallic functions. And intervallic functions is probably my favorite way of navigating, because there's just so much less information to think about. Instead of looking at it purely as a note-based approach, which I know a lot of people do, and it works really well. All the musicians that I've met that have really complete fretboard knowledge are really good at all 4 of those things, but they generally pick one as their main focus. And for me, intervallic functions is something I've been working really hard to try to have as my main focus, that sort of ticks along in the background while you're playing. So let's have a go at that. So if I'm focusing on my G, I'm thinking from this G here, I'm thinking a G, so the root note. Then I've got my flat 3rd here, and now my focus moves to this G up here. So I'm looking at this G here on the 10th fret on the A string, and I've got my perfect 4th, perfect 5th, and then I've got my flat 7. And that is, I can either look at it from this G or I can look at it from this G. Either or, and you can carry on from there obviously, and the same thing on the next string down. So I'm thinking perfect 4th and perfect 5th, I'm looking from this G, and then when I shift up from there to my flat 7, I'm looking from this G now, this G, or I can look from this one actually if I want to. But it's really good practice for just start getting into intervallic functions, instead of just trying to go through and map an entire scale. So you've got just 5 notes to worry about. You've got your root note, your flat 3, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, and the flat 7. And it's not that difficult, but I can't sort of stress enough the power of just doing, even if you just do a pattern-based approach of doing single string pentatonic scales. It's just crazy that I'd never really explored single string pentatonic scales. So have a go at that. Hope that really, well, it's definitely going to help if you are into pentatonics and you want to be able to find your way around a lot easier. Remember, the main thing is always being aware of your root notes. Just like we talked about last week, always be aware of them instead of just purely looking at it as 100% pattern based, because that's just how you get lost. When I was getting into this years ago, I knew where pattern 1 was and I knew how to join everything from that one pattern. But if I got lost up here, I'd just be completely lost and I'd have to start back at pattern 1 again, or the octave, you know. If you're after musical freedom, it's a great way to start. And I think mapping the neck and really getting to know how everything fits together just leads to more musical freedom for you. So yeah, anyway, give that a go. I hope that helps. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. I've got some more cool ideas. So if you've happened to find this channel, please subscribe, and I will come back with some hopefully cooler concepts next time. Thanks.